House, right? I know. I skipped my Sunday wrap up. This is a late weekend wrap up on just talking about what baits were working and what baits we had to get. Now, I was kind of waiting around, so I got some new baits and we're going to talk about that. But let's talk about what has already happened and what baits I need to recommend for you guys, or colors or stuff like that. But so far, if you guys remember right, we've been testing out, that's the Acura. Let it focus, hopefully. So far, this reel's legit for 15 pound. Now, I've had some conversations with a few other of you guys about what I recommend. And as far as I feel that if you get too crazy with too thick a line, I wouldn't go over 15. The weak point on any, not just this reel, any carbon framed, plastic framed reel is usually right back in here. Because if you get this, say if all the internals still work fine, if you put too much pressure, it can basically rip the reel right out of the reel seat with a plastic frame. So you definitely don't want to like turn one of these into a 65-pound braid trying to pull fish out of the nastiest of stuff. But so far on a medium heavy with 15 pound, that reel has held up perfectly, better than the reel that I had that came with this when I bought it at a combo at one point, the Carbon Light 2.0 reel. So these reels are pretty good. Cast extremely well. If you guys have seen in that one last video, I mean, it gets real good casting. Pretty good overall. I'm just playing around with drag stars. If you guys are looking at that Gomexis or whatever, that drag star almost, if you guys heard in a couple of videos, you're probably getting annoyed by it. It makes a clicking noise because it almost goes on too far. These other ones that I've had, they're the like $16 ones. And I'll try to show you the gap. They actually will go on and you can, put them on, adjusted stuff. Now you need a few other parts to do that if you want the clicker to work, but I think it makes the reel look better. There's nothing wrong with the black, just plastic one, but I like, add a little bling to it, right? So then I finally got these in. I ordered a few more, but I ordered the wrong one the first time. I got medium. You need the large for like most of your reels, and then this one I actually added the weight down here, but I just stretched the large over. The medium's way too small for most of your rods. But anyway, that's a pretty good color matchup. I mean, it blends right in. It actually gives you more of a something to throw into your gut, setting a hook, than what these carbon lights come with anyway. And a lot of rods have a pretty sharp edges on their, instead of a true like a fighting butt type deal. So that actually helps. You can put a little weight to counterbalance, in case you guys are wondering what you hadn't put that for anyway. But counterbalance for the weight, so it'll be perfectly balanced. This combo right here balances somewhere right up in here, one of my two front fingers, and it'll just set right in the palm of your hands. It won't have any kind of tip heavy feel to it. And that's a 6'9" medium heavy. That reel is so light, the weight you save and you add in the back, you're not adding any more weight than you save, would with a regular 7.5 ounce, 8 ounce reel or whatever. Those are lightweight reels. So anyway, awesome combo going so far right at the moment. Let's talk about chatterbaits real quick. So to wrap up what happened on Saturday, we got on a good bite with this bait here in particular. And let me try to find another one. There's the trailer. Now, I think it ended up with just a little too much bleed in it, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Let me find the bait I had on it. Okay, so I'm gonna move these out of the way. None of these were working that great over the weekend, except for these two. Not this one. This one was working, but right here, and I'm going to show you guys, and you'll see in the video coming up, I haven't really got done editing any videos from last weekend. So I want you guys to take a look at this bait. Okay, so this is the Jackhammer 3/8 ounce. So it's got the silver, the black, and this is twisted around, but so you got, somebody want to guess what bait fish that imitates? I got bad lighting. I apologize for the lighting and the focusing. If somebody said crappie, you are 100% correct. The crappie, we were catching crappie with this, and bass. The crappie we were catching looked just like this. They're up front and part of their face, you know, around their gill area, gill plates were kind of almost silver, you know, of course, crappie speckles, but then they had that yellowish tint, right? Like your crappie will get on the sides. So that color right there was game on. Then I don't have the identical color, and the only I didn't have, that is a goat cut down, but they're come all the way white. That is set in a box with a couple other chartreuse things just to get enough bleed off to give it that yellowish tint, which was perfect. I need to actually put a couple more in there like that. This one did the same thing, but that's a Zinkers, and it just got, in my opinion, it's a little too much. But I managed, I put it on this one, and I still, it was kind of like game on. Had a little bit of orange. Like this one also was working. Not as good as the other one, but it was working too. And those are the main two on Saturday that did. That one did all the damage. Big bass, majority bass, and crappie. But then that one also worked. So then, you know, that's kind of like matching when you fine tune those colors. A lot of times color doesn't matter one bit, but then other times color matter, you know, means everything kind of deals. So then let's go to these. These are all going bye-bye. I went out with Matt on Saturday. Okay. Matt went out, he was out Saturday also, and he tore them up on buzzbaits. So, okay, I'll go with you on Saturday. So I went with Matt on Saturday. What's up, Nate? So anyway, I tried all, you see all these baits? White. Oh, I made this one. I just stuck this one together in case these baits I'm getting ready to show you didn't show up. And I just tried to gold on one side and then left the white, but I'll probably end up painting it. That was an experiment gone wrong. But we wore out. What's funny is I found one, and I flattened it out. And I'll try to show you what happens to your blade. See how that gets worn out? I got one black one that just started working awesome. And then that started giving me problems. It gets so worn out, it starts not wanting to just work right. So that's done. I went through almost every other one. I was trying little ones, whatever. Finally, the only other one I could get going was this dude. If you guys remember right, I caught like a 5-pounder. That's that one I bought a long time ago. I lost it for like a week. Pulled it back out of the where I'd lost it, found it like a week later. Got a little bit of rust, but it still works. But it had this white skirt thing on it. I had to cut that off, and with a little bit of a black and blue, finally I caught some fish on that. But it was pretty much game over because Matt was tearing me up on what he was using. We're getting ready to get to. Even these little guys, I tried to go finessey with some of these little guys, and I probably won't get rid of all these. I'll probably keep some. But dude, I've not told you guys have heard me comment about it. My topwater game is like off this year, and I'm hoping to fix that. So those are gone. That's ancient history. Old school topwater baits do not work, right? Or do they? Maybe I just need a fresh start, right? So, come this. And I didn't even know they made these, and that shows you how, like, even though I kind of watch some stuff, I don't pay attention to a lot of stuff, and I'm going to be very honest. Other than Bonsai Guy keeps talking about, you know, the Bandito bug. Wheeler talks about a few different things. Of course, Scott Martin and all the Googans talking about how good all this and that works. I haven't really been paying much attention to pretty much any of the Googan stuff. But then, lo and behold, Matt somehow comes across some Googan Buzzbaits, right? And so, oh, that's some new technology, right? No, not really. It's pretty much an old school buzzbait, as we're getting ready to see here. Tacklewarehouse order, right? You always get the sticker. Free sticker, click on it, even though you already have 50 million. So, I jumped on there, and you know what we're dealing with? It's just as old school as you can get, right? Let's open this baby up and look at this one. This is 3/8. They were out of ½ ounce. Now, I did go to the actual Carl's and placed an order for the ½ ounce ones, but I'll show you a little trick here. You guys know the trick, but for those of you that don't. But you guys have heard me talk about the blades before. They got the same blade, right? It goes right through the middle. The one thing they have different, and there was a difference when we're in kind of gunky water, these leave a lot better bubble trail than all the old ones that don't have the holes. So you see a lot of new buzz baits out there, but I can't explain to you what it was, not this one, but I got a white one. You always need a white buzz bait. This one right here. Matt had one of these, half ounce. This is 3/8, but we'll talk about that later. There's not a huge difference between half ounce 3/8, right? Or is there? Well, I'll put it to you this way. Half ounce you can't really make into a 3/8 ounce with a lot of work. You can take a 3/8 and with maybe by adding, if you guys saw like how I talked about, I put this on there. So maybe you add this on, or maybe you just add the body, cut that off just so you have the extra weight, or maybe, just maybe, you get a little split shot and you put right in here, right back here, right? Just enough just to get the weight. And honestly, it'll help a little bit in how it rides, but these, usually the lighter ones will actually ride up at a slower speed. You know, you won't have to go as fast to keep them going, but they're a little harder to cast, right? Well, what the plus is to this bait, other than it was just flat out getting hit, you know, it's got a gold blade, black and blue gold blade, right? That's normally what I talk about with chatterbaits. But this is a buzz bait, and I'm not sure exactly what it was. We caught him on that, like I mentioned, that black one. I was throwing the other one because Matt had where Hannah had been fishing with him the day before with the white one, half ounce, and I was throwing it. And you'll see in the video on Matt's rod and reel that Hannah uses, and caught some there too. And this does have more pink in it than you would think. Like when you hold this, you see the pink at the head, but when this baby hits the certain light, and always like in the water when it's coming at you, the skirt material actually has some pink in it. It's hard to make out in this lighting, but this bait, this one works pretty good too. But nothing was comparing to this dude right here in a half ounce. So if the Carl's order don't make it, I'm going to throw it just like it is, 3/8 ounce. Like I said, I will probably go ahead and put this, probably this one right here. I'll just peel it off this one real quick, put it on, and just start with that. If that doesn't seem to be doing anything, I'll pull it off and try it by itself. Because Matt was throwing half ounce without anything on it. No trailer hook, no trailer whatsoever, and was game on. And they are made, they're made good. They come with this right on them, so you don't even have to add that, or it's a simple, you guys know the deal with the little black band. But I'm going to tell you a quick story and how Matt saved me money, then he cost me money though. Because what Matt had in his tackle box, actually it was in his glove box of his boat, but he had a Megabass black buzz bait. And I'm like, I'd seen one up at Rogers, I was telling him about it, I didn't realize it was Megabass. And I'm like, I might buy that. So they're $15. These are $6.50 on Tacklewarehouse. So Matt's like, well, I got a Megabass in the, you know, so I pull out the black Megabass, I proceed to throw it. I threw it for a while. Nowhere near what this bait is. And for two things is why I cannot recommend that. You will not see me buying any Megabass buzz baits. And the main reason is, as good as this one is at casting, this thing you can like send it. It's one of the better casting buzz baits that I've seen. For, I don't know if it's because it's so square. I'm not sure why, but this thing, you can send it out there. Now, it'll occasionally, you know, they all do. They get that thing where they catch the wind right. But, I mean, it pretty much casts amazing, and it just gets bit. Like, it's got the noise it's making, the little bubble trail. It's a legit bait. This bait is awesome. But it casts so much better than all the buzz baits I was trying. The Megabass one is the worst of any of them. It catches air. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, the Megabass, it has like a bent blade in it. I thought it'd be awesome because I thought more of the aluminum blade would catch more of the steel shaft and it would create a bigger squeak and it would be awesome. But when I started casting it, I'm like, oh no, this bait sucks. It was a half ounce. It's just hard to get real good accuracy or distance with that Megabass. But I was trying it, and then I swear it just does not have the, it doesn't have the it factor. Now, it does look like it gives it a wobble, but there may be a point in time, I don't know. I'm not going to waste $15 for a couple and then have like $30 in two of them and never find a place to work, because when these $6.50 ones do work very awesome. But so no on the Megabass, yes on the Googan Buzzbait. And like I said, I ordered, I think they only have 3 colors. I have 3 of these in a half ounce coming. I have a 3/8 and a 1/2 ounce bluegill color coming, which is kind of a bluegill pattern with a gold blade. It kind of reminds me of the Omega Custom Tackle, oh shoot, the shell cracker. You know, just the fact that it's got a gold blade and then more of a bluegill pattern. I think that buzzbait will be a winner. And then I got a 1/2 ounce white one coming. So I ordered those from Carl's. Hopefully they showed like they might make it tomorrow, but I don't know. Hopefully they will, and I'll have them for Saturday, because Saturday we're going out. But that's not the only top water we're using, because, let me move this out of the way. I finally broke down. I was waiting for the bone to come in stock at Tacklewarehouse, but then I can't even remember the guy I watched fishing this, the Hellraiser. Somebody on YouTube I watched, one of the pros had it out, was kind of an advertisement kind of fishing, and he had this color on. And this color actually speaks to me also, just because it's kind of a chartreuse and white, but a gold blade, right? So I went ahead and got this one ordered up in this color, because I think that'll work. The water we're fishing, it's kind of dirty, but 2 to 3, sometimes 4 or 5. It kind of just depends on the day. So I think a little low lighting, I think this is going to be an awesome bait in the morning, or of a morning. We're going Saturday morning. But it struck me, I thought this was going to be a bigger bait. I just hadn't been paying attention to it, because so there's a normal buzzbait and there's the Hellraiser. It is really not that big of a bait. I mean, you kind of say, oh, that's a menacing bait, but maybe not. I mean, I haven't even cast it yet. Just pull out the package as you saw. It's definitely Z-man stuff, so it's built good. It looks like it's built real good. And I can't remember the name of it, but this, and I'd almost say they copied off of Strike King, because this is the exact looking blade that the Strike King baits, their first chatterbaits came with, and they had just a hook with the skirt on it, if you guys remember the ones I'm talking about. I think right before they came out with their Thunder Crickets, before they were, you know, had a Thunder Cricket, their chatterbait was like this. It had this, with this was a hook, and I believe you could rig it weedless or not, and it looks like somebody just took that and went, oh, let's just stick it on the back of a pencil popper and shave it, and right? Kind of like 13 Fishing did with the Jabberjaw. They're like, let's just take our scamp and cut that old bill out and stick a metal in it and check it out, right? So hopefully this is legit. I'll try it out with the bait that for sure was tearing them up both Saturday and Sunday last weekend. We'll throw that in there in the mix. I think the bone one's on back order, and I think I saw a black one that I think is also on back order. So as long as I have any sort of luck on this color, I will probably order one of each of those. Just go ahead and put them on, you know, back order. When they come in, they come in. Because I'm hoping that'll work. You know me, I'm a chatterbait guy, right? Kind of best of both worlds. Man, I can't talk tonight. Best of both worlds. A chatterbait, topwater bait. It'll be awesome, right? Of course it will. You guys know it will. And anybody comment, did you miss me? I've been gone for all of like a few days. Hello, Jay. But let's talk about this. I almost feel complete, because I have 2 deep diving olive shad jabberjaws and 2 shallow running jabberjaw olive shad. So I got one to lose and a backup, and I have a lure retriever. So we're doing good, guys. We are on it. We're almost complete, right? But what's complete? What's an unboxing complete without some soft plastics? Now, just because I'm on the Z-man bandwagon, right? Got the Z-man this, the Z-man frog, the Z-man that. I had not tried these yet. So I just got these in, and I'm going to take one out because I'm not sure about these colors. It's supposed to be spray grass, which is pretty much my favorite color. Some would say purple haze, but not really. Spray grass is probably my favorite color of these, of, you know, Z-man. So let's look at this one. Now these are real finessey, even more so than the regular worms. So I just wanted to get these to try. If I'm going to give, whether it be shaky head or, of course, drop shot, a legitimate shake, I'm going to need a few different baits, right, to use. So I got that. And then I keep looking at these because I watch people, except for me, because I hate putting a new soft plastic on after every second dink you catch. So I watch everybody and their brother using And they do work, because I bought them, and they work. But, man, they go fast. And that's the brush hogs, right? Or the baby brush hogs. All of them, right? So, I'm like... And I hadn't tried this color yet. And, of course, we got the boar hogs. I've never had luck. I've tried these as trailers. I've tried them as kind of by themselves. So, I'm going to try them again in this color. Bomba bug. They don't really make a lot of they don't make spray grass. They don't make that color comes close to spray grass. Bomba bug's why I got it. I think it might work for me. I think they do make a June bug. They make a black and blue. But I'm giving that one shot. Bought a pack. I'm gonna try it. And now right now this is I'm probably at the wrong time, but you never know. If you're throwing a jig somewhere where you think they might be, you could also throw this. Whether it be on a wobblehead or on a Texas rig. In theory, I should be able to put that on the back of a chatterbait at some given time, and it should work for that too. But I've tried them before. Trust me, on chatterbaits, they do not work good on chatterbaits for some reason. I've also thought about like what do you call it? I thought about reshaping the tails of it to, I guess, not be so long, but more resistant to where they'll catch a little more and flop around a little more. So, anyway, what else do I need to talk about? I think that's going to about wrap it up. What are we, 20 minutes in? So, I'm still up in the air on Jay has, and I can't mention the name of the reel. Jay keeps telling me this reel. The boar hogs on a buzzbait. You mean bear by itself? I like skirts. I don't know why I'd like skirts on my buzzbait. I've tried. I don't have it out here. I've tried a couple times to. I don't know which way it went. I had one that was because it was a perfect head shape. You could take a you could take a swim bait and slide it right over the actual head and all, so it hit everything. All it was a swim bait, you know, with then the wire going to the buzz bait, and man, that thing sucked. I didn't have near the luck as I do with when I have a skirt on. Is that thing not focusing? So anyway, I'm hoping this thing does work because I like the idea of that. Now they're $15 a piece. That's the downside. $14.99, I think. But if they like work, I don't know. The thing is, the reason I've avoided them so far, there's no buzz like there was with the Whopper Plopper. The Whopper Plopper come out and you could kind of tell right off the bat. I bought one and then I could instantly tell. The minute I started throwing the Whopper Plopper, I was like, oh my goodness. Now it's kind of faded down because it's been out a few years. Everybody and their brothers throws it and been throwing it. And, sometimes the baits come and go, just like buzz baits, I honestly don't know if I've ever owned a buzzbait with a gold blade. I've seen them, and I knew that it could and should or whatever, but I felt when there was a topwater early morning buzzbait bite ongoing, and me and Boneseye guy tore into him just a couple years ago on a few different days, mornings, when I put the Whopper Plopper down, basically when it finally, here's that bait, when the Whopper Plopper finally wore down and then we went back to buzz baits. I've always thrown anywhere from like this, just a chartreuse and white, an all white, and I mean it really didn't matter. I kind of just, that old school, you hear that squeak? Just that clankety right there. Man, that is what I've always just torn them up on. This year, man, you can even ask Matt. We're out there, and you hear this. Now these, they say they should be the same. They already clamped. But you hear that difference? That's so much quieter. But I'm telling you, I think it's something to do with just like I mentioned before, black and blue gold blade. Why didn't I think of it before? I've thrown that chatterbait. You guys have heard me preach it, talk about it, right? I mean, how many chatterbaits do I have that are black and blue with the gold blade, right? There's the one that's done all the damage not too long ago. So why wouldn't it make sense? I guess I didn't even realize the Googans had a black and blue gold blade, or anybody did really for that matter. or how well it would work. And what I'm thinking is, when it's on, it's on. It's kind of like a Jabberjaw. And this last weekend was on. We'll see if it's still on. So it made, because this thing, when it's on, it's on. Some days they don't want that more natural, like the other day, that white, because I tried this Saturday, and it just did not work like that white one I showed you earlier. So that's why, hence, I got a couple white ones, and the other one's coming. Because in, day out, this or chartreuse and white, I've always taken it to be my better. Just like my frogs, I like either white, or now I'm finding I like the yellow bellies. Still trying a black and blue frog at times. I do not like or have luck with those compared to the other ones. So as these videos that are coming out, you're going to see us tearing them up on this dude right here. It's like 1 week, and that's why I recommend, and I'm going to tell you real quick the colors. Since you can get the AliExpress ones, I would get the goat, cut it down just like I did. Now leave a couple, cut one down maybe or two, and leave the other two for as it gets real cold or in the spring, or just certain times they may want a little bulkier. You may want it to have some resistance in the water and not jump around as much, usually when the water's a little colder. But some sort of white. I'll try to show you in the knockoff version. So, in all honesty, this one probably, I didn't have it rigged up. Like that one with a little bit of a blue head. I could have probably put a goat on it, or that exact goat with that little bit of yellow. Probably do the same thing. So, some sort of bait color or white, black and blue. I'd use a gold blade, but you could have either or and have both. But then I'm coming now to find that on any given day, one of these two may jump in there and steal the show. You can get that crazy orange one, and you could either go a little subtle and don't add such an orange, add more of a brown or a light green, maybe even a true, watermelon or pumpkin trailer. But I find like that one right there, and then this guy right here. I haven't had the luck yet, but I just started throwing this one. If you guys saw, I think that last video you saw with me and Charles, I caught a couple on this one, but this one was game on. It was this color. But like these colors, black and blue gold blade, pretty much orange, gold blade orange, black blade with the green chartreusey colors, or white. Those four colors right there, you're pretty much covered on almost anything. And which makes sense as far as if you got a buzzbait, similar thing, just a black one and a white one, really. It's almost that simple with the buzzbait. Maybe a chartreuse and white. And when I try to, when I try to switch up, I'll show you if you guys saw that first one I had out. I've tried to change up before. I tried to imitate basically this bait. So I tried to take that chatterbait and make it into a buzzbait, right? So, I mean, the colors aren't 100%. No luck. Let that focus. Okay, see the difference? I mean, there's a slight difference, but man, it's like if you're in a place where that catches fish, why wouldn't that? Buzzing through there. I don't know. There's something about just a white one, a black or black and blue kind of, dark one. I think the gold blade is what helps that one really. But then every once in a while, just that chartreuse and white, that real bright. And I do like, I like a white head though, for some reason. I like a white head with almost this skirt. Like the scattered out chartreuse and white. I'm not saying a chartreuse head with the black and white, or now Charles, I just made this funky one. Charles swears by, and I tried to imitate it, but I don't know where he bought that one he has. And he was catching them one day on a buzzbait one morning, if you guys remember right a while back. Now, Booyah made this yellow and black, but there's not enough black, so I need to either Sharpie some black on there. But Charles had a buzzbait with like almost half black, half yellow, and he was tearing them up one day. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. We're a half hour in. I will try to, because I'm going fishing on Saturday, going to Renfest on Sunday, and so at some point I'll put a wrap up on Sunday night, more than likely. Oh yeah, Jay commented that the Baby Rage Menace knockoffs I suggested came in. They let the chatterbait hunt better than like any other trailers that he's tried. Thanks for recommending them. No problem. I should probably get some and just run them. But I'm telling you, these goats, I think they're cut down like they are. I feel they, and I may even need to cut these down a little more. Probably do. Probably need to cut them just, you don't need much of a nub at all because these are so flimsy anyway. The slightest little nub at all, you know, anything, and actually probably just flat back there would have some movement to where you get that less resistance and it just lets them jump around. So I'm still working, that's still a work in progress. But these babies, I will tell you this, 25, 20, I don't know, a bunch of fish, probably 20. Still no sign of wear. I don't know, probably 30 fish, maybe more. Still just works. Just like it's a, they should come like this. Like everybody should make these with plastic like this that you just, the bait wears out and you throw it away finally after like a year or two or however long. You don't have to go every third little dink putting a new bait on is what I don't like about any soft plastic. It's hard to find a soft plastic that does just last. Z-Man does, so when you find the right Z-Man stuff and make it work, that's why I'm kind of experimenting. I think Nate, I believe it was, that first suggested using the goats. I don't know if this one, yeah, this one isn't cut down good enough at all. I just cut it a little bit. I was in a hurry out on the water. I need to cut it more. And I find too that you want to cut them thin and jagged. You do not even want perfect. Like you don't want to try to take your time and make these perfectly straight line. You want to like just cut them, get them thin and jagged looking. They actually worked at probably even a touch better. I don't know if you guys can make out that purple shining through now on this thing, or pinkish stuff. These little baits they're legit. Uh-oh, this one's got the deal already wrong. That's funny. The little ball don't stay where it's supposed to. It already jumps over. But that thing's bent like past the 90. There's no way it should. It's just a little too big. I probably ought to grab my pliers and put a little crimp up. But that don't hurt anything. A lot of times it's good to have stuff that'll move out of the way so if it gets grass, you can get in there and get it cleaned out. But yeah, if you buy any bait, even if these are supposed to be crimped, if they're not, you want to crimp that. Yes, they will prematurely wear out eventually, but man, you get that extra squeak going. And the Googans already do that. Like if that's just back there rolling around, it'll roll, that'll roll, and eventually something may wear, but you will never really get that squeak like what these should only get better as you go. Like I should start throwing these on Saturday, and then until they're done, they should only get better at that squeaky noise. Which a lot of these baits already have it perfect. You hear that? Dude, that should be game on. I had that out in the water. I don't know what's up. These fish don't like squeaks no more. New age bass. Nate says he has 7-year-old Z-man stuff he's still using. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you keep it from getting smashed and hot, like it's a forever. Like there's going to be 2 things around, and that's going to be Z-man baits and cockroaches and, well, maybe 3 things. But I ain't going to talk about the other thing. So anyway, guys, hopefully you liked the video. Stay tuned. See how well my new, this I'm almost positive is going to be game on. I may have to add, like I said, this trailer. Maybe the half-ounce ones will be in. They cast awesome, but then see how that does. I have no idea. It should cast very well because the weight's at the back. So I should be able to zing it out there and see how fast it'll walk and how well it, just basically see how well it's going to get hit and then how well hookups are. I'd say they're going to be good because it's got a big honking hook that's almost, that is a regular sized, shoot, what am I thinking of? Whopper plopper sized hook on the back is not. Back's a little smaller, but plenty big enough, trust me, to, I don't know if that'll get in the way. It'd be the only thing back here, but this front one, as long as it gets in there, should be good hookups. It's just a matter of getting hit or not. We'll find out. Saturday morning, daylight. I wish I had the service where I could do some live streams of the early morning or something like that. Would be cool. Yeah, super good at night. Problem is, especially with me doing videos now, I don't even like trying to do anything at night because I can't record it for one. Like I have to have a decent amount of daylight. Where you guys have seen me and it almost looks pitch dark, it's actually more light. It's just the cameras don't, you guys know the deal. So stay tuned, guys. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Get out, go bass and bonsai, get you some baits, but whatever you do, make sure you have fun doing it. I've got a couple reels maybe in the project. I'm actually debating on going all Daiwa, but probably not. There's just too many other reels out there to look at, try. I've got a couple I'm thinking about ordering from AliExpress. Here's the problem though. Anything from AliExpress, it's going to be next season into the winter before it would make it, within a month. I do have an, wait, stop, hold the phones. I want you guys right now, if you've ordered them, sorry. If you haven't ordered them, hold off until we figure it out for sure. But those slobber knocker knockoffs, go look at that on AliExpress and take a closer look at them pictures. I think those things may be junk. I just happen to be I haven't heard any word about them. I just happen to be looking at the pictures closer. And because I looked at the slobber knockers at Bass Pro Shops for $13, whatever they are, $13.99. I don't know if they've got big enough holes where the blade goes through to let those things move right. It's almost like they're just on a hint. They just go up and down, and they won't go side to side enough. I don't know for sure. But you guys go back and look at those pictures. I looked, I'm like, oh my God, did I just buy 4 pieces of junk that aren't going to do anything? And they should be here. Probably won't make this weekend. They should be here next week. So if you haven't ordered any yet, hold off. The slobber knocker knockoffs may be junk. I just wanted to give you guys that heads up because I'd seen that and went, uh-oh. But you guys zoom in and, comment either at the end of this video in another day or just whenever, what you think. Or if you get any in, you ordered them maybe before me or when I did and yours come in faster. And they seem legit because what you need is, that blade, just like on this one, it needs this side to side. And the way the slobber knocker is, it has a pin going all the way through. Now, just because it'll do this up and down, if it doesn't do this enough, it got to have that movement to first of all, give it the chatter, but then to be able to knock loud enough to make it worth, if it just barely wiggles, they may just suck. I don't know. I looked at that picture and a couple of pictures, and I'm like, uh-oh. They're definitely not as big a holes as what the true slobber knocker has. Is it something you could just waller out or will waller out over time? Possibly. Just something was on my mind I thought I should let you guys know about in case you guys have seen those, thought about them or whatever. And I still have not got the heavier, remember they had the heavier and the lighter regular chatterbait knockoffs you could get? Those haven't made it yet. They're, I don't know, had some issue. They should be here. Everything should be here next week that I have ordered. All of it. What else? The Carl's thing should also be here tomorrow, hopefully, if not next week, and we'll be able to try out the true half ounce. But like I said, and that goes with any bait. If you guys are having issues, maybe with casting it, or you feel you're just, even if you're fishing from the bank and you're like, man, all I have is 3/8 ounce, all I have is 1/4 ounce, you can always add just a touch weight. Even a frog. I was watching Jason Christie today talk about the frogs. He puts a couple BBs in there for a few reasons. He can get further distance, and it'll set in the mat a little further down, and it makes a little noise. But you can kind of do the same thing with almost any bait, whether it's the little split shots, the crimp on, you put them on, you squeeze them with pliers or your teeth if you're crazy, like I've been known to do. And you put them right on the shank of some of these baits. I was going to try to show you one. What did I do with that bait? Even the pink ones, but this is already a half ounce. But like say if you had a half ounce and you're like, man, I want to go at that speed, but I want it to go deeper. You can add, a little bit of weight. In all seriousness, I know it may sound weird, but you can actually, add weight on your line. I mean, we've done it for years. We've been out crappie fishing, with the 16th ounce crappie jig and just add another little 16th ounce up on the line, cast it out, and just so you can reel that certain speed and be down in that depth right. So there's ways to cheat around the whole adding just a little more weight to a bait to get it down a little further, because once you add plastics, it usually, even though you're adding weight, you add drag or resistance, and it's going to ride. It may help you with distance, but it's going to let that bait's going to ride up a little higher in the column at said speed. So if you're wanting to get distance and ride lower, about the only way to do it is add lead, right? Just like the walleye fishermen do, add lead. It solves problems. Not really. I had to get that in there, guys. All right, thanks for watching. Get out of here. I'm gone. Wow, that's a colorful little combo down there.